Welcome to the stock workout where we flex on the market to make gains. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Jaguar Health, ticker symbol JAGX. Now, this is a stock that I am personally invested in. I'm going to be going over a bit of news that's come out regarding Jaguar Health, where they're up to with their SPAC merger, some news that's come out about the company. We're gonna go over their indication for Mytesi that they're seeking approval for, and then we're gonna take a look at the charts because the charts are looking really good at the moment. Now, I've been invested in this for the last 6 months or so, so I have seen the movement up and the huge sell-off, but I've held because I believe in this company and I think it is doing great things, and this is a great biotech play to be involved in. So let's get into it. We will take a look at a news article first of all. So this is over at Investor Place and it says JAGX Stock. Two big reasons Jaguar Health is climbing higher today. So today, investors in Jaguar Health are seeing double-digit gains on a couple key catalysts. This move today has sent JAGX stock to its highest level in more than a month, and investors seem to believe more upside momentum is possible for this biopharmaceutical name. Jaguar Health is in the business of providing novel, sustainably sourced drugs targeted at GI-related issues. Now, these sustainably sourced drugs are all just natural products. Let's get rid of that. The company target market for its key Mytesi drug is patients dealing with GI symptoms from HIV and AIDS. Accordingly, investors seem to like the mission and purpose of this biopharma name. Of late, the company has been making headlines with respect to promising research tied to its Mytesi drug. Additionally, it has undertaken an executive shuffle many believe will help propel this early-stage biopharma firm forward. However, today investors have a couple additional catalysts to focus in on. Let's dive into what these announcements are and why they're driving JAGX stock higher today. So first of all, potential EU marketing authorization for JAGX stock. So Jaguar's wholly owned subsidiary Napo Pharmaceuticals has announced today its intention to pursue a conditional marketing authorization from the EMA. This marketing authorization would be for the company's proprietary Mytesi, which is called crofelemer drug. Crofelemer is the actual drug name, and Mytesi is the brand name, I believe. Um, Napo EU is the Italian European arm of Napo Pharmaceuticals and has been hard at work bringing Jaguar's products to market in Europe. The hope is that this subsidiary gains marketing approvals. Investors in JAGX stock will reap the benefits. Then it says, as fellow Investor Place contributor David recently reported, Mytesi may have an expanded target market as well. This drug is currently also being explored as a proposed indication of prophylaxis and/or symptomatic relief of inflammatory diarrhea, initially to be studied in long hauler COVID-19 recovery patients. And that is in Europe. So this is something that Lisa Conte, the CEO, said on the webinar that they are still researching into, and they are going to look into this further. But first, they are seeking approval for Mytesi for the indication of this. Where's it gone? For HIV and AIDS. So after that, then they might seek approval and step into the COVID-19 recovery play. So potential SPAC deals for Jaguar subsidiary, a little bit confusing. Okay, follow me on this. Napo Pharmaceutical is the wholly owned subsidiary of Jaguar Health. Accordingly, Napo EU SPA is the Italian subsidiary of Napo Pharmaceuticals in Europe. So the way it goes is at the top you'll have Jaguar Health, underneath that you'll have a subsidiary called Napo Pharmaceuticals, and underneath that you have another subsidiary called Napo EU SPA. So Napo EU has recently announced a SPAC funding round in which Napo EU will be taken public via a reverse SPAC merger by Dragon SPAC, an Italian-based special purpose acquisition company. Jaguar Health has committed to a private placement to help fund the SPAC. Additionally, it has been reported that a group of multinational investors have already signed up to take 70% of the offering. Indeed, if such demand is accurate, this SPAC deal could be big for everyone involved. Accordingly, Jaguar's move today is a multi-phased one. There are a lot of moving pieces with this company, and investors will need to stay on their toes with JAGX stock. For now, it's an intriguing one to watch, at the very least, for those interested in SPAC investing. So this was an article by Investor Place just highlighting why the stock is climbing higher today. We're going to step into a little bit more news that Jaguar Health has released. So Jaguar Health and Dragon SPAC announced initial funding of US 10.8 million into Dragon SPAC. So it just talks about the funding that's come from private investors. So it says here, Jaguar's wholly owned US subsidiary have entered into an agreement pursuant to which Dragon SPAC will issue units to Napo Pharma in a private placement for cash consideration of approximately 10.8 million, with proceeds of such financing to be used in part for Dragon SPAC's contemplated business combination, the merger with Napo EU. And this is where things get interesting. So it says each unit consists of one ordinary share of Dragon SPAC and one warrant. Each warrant will entitle the holder thereof to purchase one ordinary share at an exercise price of euro 10, so 10 euros per ordinary share, at any time prior to the earlier of the 10-year anniversary of the consummation of the merger and the 5-year anniversary of the listing of the combined Napo EU Dragon SPAC entity resulting from the merger on a public exchange. The private financing is expected to close the end of Q2 2021, subject to certain conditions, including the concurrent closing of the merger and completion of customary items. So, the share prices are going to be priced at 10 euros, and that's what each warrant is going to be offered to these investors. However, it also says it has to be done within 10 years of the anniversary of the consummation of the merger and or the 5-year anniversary of the listing of the combined Napo EU Dragon SPAC entity resulting from the merger on a public exchange. However, they are holding off on going public for the moment. So it says here, where has it gone? It's towards the bottom, I believe. Right, it says here, with the recent choppiness and uncertain liquidity in the US and European SPAC markets, Dragon SPAC has been advised by its banking advisors to hold off on a public financing at this time. Plans for the Napo EU drug development opportunity are progressing, and Dragon SPAC has decided to complete a private financing rather than a public financing to fund the merger. So they are not going to go public as of yet. However, the shares are still priced at 10 euros per ordinary share. Also, one thing that Lisa Conti said in the webinar is that they are looking to issue new shares, I think it was she said, and shareholders need to agree on this. So there is a vote that is due on next Friday. So that is something to also keep in mind. And she said that was just to fund, further develop, and get EU authorization for their drugs. In a sense, but she basically said that Jaguar Health needed money and needed to raise funds. That's how I took it. So that is another bit of information. The key part here is it is priced at 10 euros. So that was something that wasn't answered a couple of months ago. However, we now have got that information. So on to the next article. So Jaguar Health, Italian subsidiary, provides updates on plans to pursue conditional marketing authorization in the EU. Now, initially, Jaguar Health said that Napo EU that is going to be created in Italy, it was going to pursue to use their drug Mytesi and crofelemer. They were going to use it for COVID-related long hauler symptoms. However, now they have changed that to short bowel syndrome. So the new indication that they're chasing for approval is for short bowel syndrome. So they're going to use their drug crofelemer for short bowel syndrome. Yet they are still going to keep in mind the long hauler symptoms, and so Lisa Conti in the webinar said that they're going to keep an eye on it, and they may in the future proceed with trying to get authorization for long haulers COVID-19 symptoms. But for the current moment, she said short bowel syndrome is the sort of quickest way for them to get approval. So this is what they are now chasing approval for crofelemer for the indication of short bowel syndrome. So it gives a little bit more information about this over here. So a drug, so in the European Union, a drug is defined as a rare orphan if it treats life-threatening or chronically and seriously debilitating condition affecting fewer than 5 in 10,000 people across the EU. An orphan designation allows a pharmaceutical company to benefit from incentives from the EU, such as reduced fees and protection from competition once the medicine is placed on the market. So this is a reason why they are chasing this short bowel syndrome, because crofelemer can be used for short bowel syndrome, and if they go through the EU approval via this route, then they do get the benefits. Whereas if they went via the long hauler symptoms, it might have been slightly different. So that's an article about what they are chasing now. So the conditional marketing authorization is for short bowel syndrome and not for COVID-19 long hauler symptoms. So that's one change that Jaguar Health have made. If we go on to the next one, this is just one to say that new employee inducement grants under NASDAQ listing. So they've announced the company granted non-statutory stock options for the purchase of up to 225,000 shares of the company's common stock to a new employee. So that was just a little bit of insider trading that's going on. They're stock options, so they've got an option to buy these stocks. So that's basically a bit of news about that. They also granted 112,500 restricted stock units to the same employee under the company's 2014 stock incentive plan. So we may see some insider buying. I think they recently hired a new chief medical officer, I think it was. They hired a few weeks back. So that's a bit of news about Jaguar Health. What I'll do is I'll leave the links to all of these articles in the description down below so you can take a closer look at them. So yeah, that's that. Now let's take a look at the charts. So Jaguar Health currently sat at $1.77. In the after hours, it went down to $1.76. It was minus 1.67% for the day. However, if you look at the last last sort of 2 weeks or so, we've had a huge run up in the price. So the price right at the bottom was down here at $1.17, and we saw highs of $1.97. So that's a good 80% increase in the space of 2 weeks or so. And the news articles that I went through sort of indicate why this stock has been running up in the last 2 weeks or so. So this is the 5-minute chart I've got up. Just to start off with, I've got the 21-day EMA on the screen alongside the 50, 100, 200-day moving average. I've got the volume and the RSI on the screen also. Now, on Friday, volume was slightly low. It was 12 million, whereas the average volume in the last 10 days is 26 million. This is a small cap company with 246 million is their market cap. Now, it's had this run up. And from the low $1.17 all the way to the high $1.97, just under $2, that's a huge run up it's had, and it has been quite nice to see that finally for Jaguar Health, because if I zoom out, and this is what I really wanted to show everybody. So this is the hourly chart, and this hourly chart is showing the last few months or so, more than few months. So you can see here back in, when was this? January, 11th of January, we saw a peak of around $4.50. Since that peak, we have been setting lower highs and we've been in a downtrend. We've been in this downtrend, lower highs and a series of lower lows. However, it seems like we have broken out of that downtrend in the past few weeks or so. Okay, so this is the downtrend. You can see this. Now, if I just zoom in to this bit here, as you can see here, we have set a series of 3 higher lows and 3 higher highs. we've just set higher lows and higher highs. And this level over here around this $1.73 range was the level of resistance that I would have put, because we got rejected here previously. And this level of resistance here is quite close to this level of support previously as well. And now we've broken above that, and we're currently sat at that level, just a hairline above it at $1.76. So my immediate level of support would be that $1.73, and that is a level that we need to hold above if we are going to sustain this new change in direction and this uptrend. As you can see here, if I get rid of this downtrend line that I've drawn here, as you can see here, we had a run up previously in April and we got rejected here, and then we went back on a downtrend. Now we've had a run up, we set a higher high. So we set a high of $1.97. So that is a higher high. So I think we have had a change in sentiment, a change in direction. I think this is a trend reversal right here. So first level of support sits at $1.73. Now, one thing that I didn't mention, if I bring it back over here, this 20, if I bring it back the trend line, where this trend line is coming down, the minute we broke out, you can see that that 21-day EMA, this white line here, crosses above that 50-day moving average, which is the green line, and then quite soon after crosses over that 100-day moving average, which is the blue line. And then it goes on to cross the red line here, which is the 200-day moving average. So that downtrend, that confirms to me that we've had a breakout and we've had a trend reversal, because that downtrend that's coming down here, it completely literally pinpoint crosses over where that 21-day EMA crosses over the 50-day moving average, and from there we've had a breakout and we've set a higher high. We have set a higher high from there. As you can see, this was the previous high that we had, and now this is the new high that we've had there. Currently sat at support $1.73. So what does that mean? This 21-day EMA that's crossed over all three moving averages, this white line is trading above this green line, blue line, and red line. That shows that the bulls are in control. So when this crossed over right here, that was a trend reversal, and now we are in a new uptrend. Also, volume since then has been significantly higher than it has been in the last month or so. So as you can see here, if we go further back, volume is quite low all the way here. And when we had this trend reversal with the 21-day EMA crossing over and we had that confirmed breakout from the downtrend, volume has also picked up. So currently on Friday we had a small decrease in price, down 1.67%. Nothing to worry about because we are setting higher lows, consecutive higher lows. So slowly this thing is going to trend upwards. We are also setting higher highs. RSI is currently sat at 48. So with RSI, anything above 70 is overbought, anything under 30 is oversold. So we're sat a hairline under neutral, neutral being 50. We're sat at 48. So that's also a good thing to see. Now, one thing we do want to see is that volume pick up. Volume has picked up in the last few weeks or so compared to the previous months. However, we do want to see sustained volume that could push this higher. But given the catalysts that are coming out and the fact that their Napo EU SPAC is set to be completed, I think she said middle of July to August, this thing is just gonna rocket. This thing is gonna rocket. It's due for a violent breakout. I think it's gonna have quite a violent breakout. I mean, compared to the previous highs that we had, all the way at $4.50 up here, and now we've had a breakout and we've set a higher high finally after so many months. I think this is gonna have a violent breakout because back in January when Lisa Conte, the CEO, was talking about the SPAC merger, she did state that it would take weeks, not months. However, it has taken much longer than we as investors expected it to. So we expected the SPAC merger to happen somewhere around here. It didn't, which is why then you saw the price continue to slide. And now the talks of the SPAC merger are finalizing. They've raised their, what is it, $10.8 million into Dragon SPAC. 70% of the financing has been done. We're now seeing basically the fruits of the labor. So I think this stock is primed to erupt. I've been holding it for the last 6 months or so. Now, in the last few weeks, we have seen these flag formations here. We've seen a flag formation here, and we've just seen continued breakouts. So the bulls are in control of this one. That's my analysis of Jaguar Health. We've had a breakout from a downtrend that traveling back months. So great to see some strength in this stock. Great to see the fact that the Napo EU SPAC is coming to an end. They've got 70% of the financing and they've given an approximate end date for it. Great to see that the shares are priced at 10 euros, and great to see that they, even though they have changed the indication that they're going after for crofelemer, which is Mytesi, they've changed it to short bowel syndrome from long hauler COVID. That's great to see because that has its own incentives as well. So I think there's going to be a shift in sentiment for this. It's already come a shift in sentiment, but I think we're about to see a violent breakout on this stock, especially as that SPAC finalization comes closer. This is going to start trending higher and higher. We've had a trend reversal. Support currently sits at $1.73, and from here on out it's onwards and upwards. That's it for this video, guys. If you appreciate that, hit the subscribe button, drop us a like, and I'll see you on the next one.